Testing. All right, we still have some people coming in the door, so we'll give you a couple more minutes to find seats, and then we'll get started. So thanks for coming, everybody. All right, it's go time. So we're going to get started here. We want to take some time to honor your children. And we know you have very busy lives, especially in the spring, because there are a lot of school activities and youth teams and things like that. But before we really even get going very far, I want to thank a few people. First of all, and I don't know if we can change those lights a little bit, but Chantel Woods is that lady back there in the green, and she's done pretty much everything to get ready for this. Give her a big round of applause. The secretary usually gets a lot of help from the office aide, and that person just left us for a new full-time job. So Chantel really has done this all by herself, so we are so thankful. I also want to thank Matea Kitchen, who is sitting down here. She is a high school student, and she's going to give a little speech here from the eyes of a high school senior and giving advice to people who are embarking in high school here either next year or the year after. I want to say a big thank you to all the caregivers in the room. So students, you obviously have done a lot of work to be able to be successful in school, but that probably did not happen without a lot of help from your caregivers, your parents, grandparents, and so forth. So would you students who are in the house tonight give all the caregivers a big round of applause? The last thank you that I want to give is also to, parents, when you send your children to school, they're at school for 8 hours a day. And so really, these students in our school have a lot of caregivers, and a lot of them we call paraprofessionals. We call them teachers, secretaries, nurses, counselors, and so forth, and they care a great deal about your child. And all of us want your child to be successful. And so students and caregivers, let's give any staff that's here, please give them a round of applause. And every year that we get to have this Learning Lancer, which this is the first time in 3 years, and this is by far the largest, or the auditorium is full, so this is really exciting for us. We start off with some music, and they alternate. And this year, we have the great jazz band, who just had some superior ratings at one of their contests. They're awesome. It's amazing how far they come in 2 years. They have a great conductor, so please enjoy our jazz band, conducted by Ashley Noblo.
We're just going to play 2 tunes for you tonight. The first one is called Long Lost Friend, and we're going to feature our own Learning Lancer, Zach McMahon, on trombone. And then our second tune is called Into the Sun, and soloists on that one will be Zach on trombone, Nathan Anderson on tenor sax, and Ben Lytle on bari sax.
Okay, next on the agenda is I'm going to speak a little bit from the experience of a 34-year educator in the North Scott system, and I'm going to mainly speak to parents, just a different perspective as your children continue to grow. And as I was preparing for this evening, I was really reflecting on my own children because it's kind of gone full circle. One of my daughters is 29 and just got married a few weeks ago. And so I was thinking about 34 years of being in education here, 29 years of being a parent. And so what would I want to say to parents who are embarking on a new stage here of junior high and soon to be high school? And before you know it, your kids will be out of high school. And for those of you whose first child is in junior high, let me tell you that especially high school, when your child gets a driver's license and has keys maybe, and they start getting in all the activities that the high school has, it is a day. You will look back on it, I promise you, and you will say, where did the time go? And so really, your children in just 5 or 6 short years are going to be on their own, whether that's to go off to college, whether that's to go off to a trade school, whether that's to go to a community college. But the first thing I want to say is push your kids to get at least a post-secondary certificate. There's a lot of research out there that says students who stop at a high school diploma in our society today are living in poverty. And so we are pushing in schools for your children to get at least a 2-year certificate, an apprenticeship, a 2-year college degree, some type of certificate where they can get good jobs. And there are lots of high-paying jobs in America. So you just have to be willing to go out and find them. All right, a few words of wisdom from a 57-year-old man who's been in the North Scott District for 34 years and has a 29-year-old child. Well, and a 30-year-old child. But it was the wedding one that made me think. Okay, so everyone in this room wants every child in this room to be successful beyond high school. And when I say successful throughout this speech, I do not intend to say rich. I do not intend to say has this premier job, because we all define success differently, but they're going to go off on their own, okay? So here's question number one. One of my first years at the junior high, we had an orientation in the gym. And as parents came into the gym, I gave them a note card, I gave them a writing utensil, and the first thing I asked them was to write down the 5 characteristics they would want their child to have when they're 25 years old. And the next thing, when we got all assembled, I asked, raise your hand if you wrote down the term dependent. Right. Nobody put down the word dependent, right? In our house, we say, I want you off the payroll. Okay. All right, so here are the words of wisdom. I start with some research that ACT has done recently, and I'm going to read a little bit from that. They did some research, and I think you'll find this interesting. The team compiled and analyzed data, interviewed high school principals and counselors, and assessed the national landscape, keeping access, student success, and transparency as key tenets. When cross-analyzing high school GPA and ACT scores with 4-year college graduation rates, the team found the greatest success among students, pay close attention, students who scored relatively low on the ACT, achieving a score of 18 to 20. For the students in the room, a perfect score on the ACT is a 35. So students who scored an 18 to 20, but who worked hard enough to earn a 4.0 GPA. About 93% of those students graduated college in 4 years. So 18 to 20 on an ACT, which is an average score, but worked their tails off to get a 4.0. Compared to about 93% of those students graduated college in 4 years, compared with 74 to 75% of 4.0 students who achieved an ACT score of 21 and 29. So the kids who got a lower ACT score but got that high grade point, 93% college graduation rate. I don't know what the rates are for community college and trade schools and things like that. The cohort of 4.0 students who achieved elite level ACT scores of 33 or higher had a 4-year graduation rate of 81%, according to board documents. GPA seemed the biggest tell of collegiate success. According to the Regent analysis, with 2.0 students achieving a 4-year graduation rate of only 9 to 20%, irrespective of ACT score. In fact, 2.0 students who scored 15 to 17 on the ACT had a higher graduation rate of 13% than the mere 9% of 2.0 students who graduated in 4 years after getting a 27 to 29 on the ACT. The likelihood of graduating in 4 years was fairly consistent on GPA and how hard a student is willing to work. So that's number one. For your children, for our children and our students to be successful, the number one thing that they need to learn is hard work. So then the question is, as a parent, what's your role to help your child develop this work ethic? Well, one I would say is to build resilience, right? Your child is going to have to work hard, and that doesn't mean they're always going to be successful. I had a pastor once tell me, and I'm sure some of you have heard this before, when your kids are really young, you're the director. When your children get to junior high and high school, you're the coach. And coaching them and having high expectations like a coach. So think about that ACT, high GPA, hard work to get that is going to say more than what your child gets on a standardized test. See what they're doing in their grades, see what they're doing in their classes, have high expectations for that, have set times for them to study, okay? The second thing, resilience. Resilience is what happens when things don't go right. Life is hard. Every one of us knows that life is hard. The adults in this room know life can be it's full of challenges. Not one person in this room is untouched by challenges. But how do we teach resilience? What I say is, as your children grow up, don't be the savior. Don't be the helicopter parent. If you want your children to learn how to work hard and to be successful in the end, they have to do it on their own. You're a coach. Help them through the tough times. Help them and be an advocate for them. If they're struggling in a class, help them have those conversations with teachers. Get the tutoring they need. Help them get organized. Help them do their assignments. Help them help themselves. Encourage them to talk with their teachers. Encourage them to talk to their coach. And here's the other thing. I'm a big believer that pride, if I were to ask you to raise your hand, how many of you, aside from your family, aside from like having children and things like that, if you were just to look at your own life and your accomplishments, if I asked you to raise your hand, is the thing you're most proud of accomplishing also the most difficult thing you've done? My guess is a high percentage of you would say yes. We're proud of the things that are hard. We're not proud of the things that are easy. And so as a parent, I encourage you as your children grow up is to be their coach. Help them reflect on things that don't go well. Help them to make changes. But every time you save the day for them, it will be less likely that they will be resilient in their older years. Hold your child accountable. If your child isn't performing in school, you just heard the research on getting a high GPA. If they're not getting a high GPA, hold them to those standards. And yet that can be done many different ways, and that's up to you and your families, whether that's through rewards, whether that's through consequences, but it's simply having high expectations. And I will share with you a stat from teaching. There's a man named John Hattie who performed a lot of research on teaching strategies. And what he wanted to know is, teachers are using teaching strategies all the time. I want to know which ones are the most impactful. The first one is high expectations. Just to be in a classroom with a teacher who has high expectations will push you to be successful. So that would be my encouragement number 2. Next encouragement is don't be hands off. It's such a tough balance, right? It's hard to be in Canvas and know your students, what your child is doing. It's hard to keep up with Power School. It's hard to keep up with Lancer Way. It's hard to keep up with all their practices. It's hard to keep up with all their other things. It is very hard. But stay up to date on that. Don't just, when your kid gets to high school, say it's on you. They're still teenagers. They still need some guidance and help. The last one is, we are really fortunate in North Scott, and we have a lot of excellence in teaching in our extracurricular activities. I've been here for 34 years, and I would make the argument that this is kind of the golden era of coaches and teachers. We have coaches who are great teachers, coaches who are great people, and they want your child to grow up and to be a great person. Trust us. Trust us. When I take my car to a mechanic, I trust him. I don't know anything about mechanics. I don't know anything about cars. When I go to a physician, I trust the physician. Trust us. We want what's best for your child, and work with us and help us. It doesn't mean we're perfect. We're not perfect. But help your teachers, help your coaches, help your kids. So, as you're heading through the junior high and high school years, just remember, it's really about 6 short years. It goes fast. So, good luck. Students, you're already on the right path. You've got great support at home. You're doing the right things. All I got to say to you right now is keep up the good work. And now I'm going to turn over to Matea Kitchen.
Okay. Thank you, parents and students, for coming this evening, taking time out of your lives. And I'm here to just give tips and tricks and help motivate your kids and just give them some tips on what to expect in high school. So, I'm a sophomore, and the last 2 years have been crazy in school. The end of my 8th grade year was in complete lockdown. So, that was fun. Luckily, things are getting better. They're improving. But you are heading into a new crazy transition. It's not a pandemic, but it's high school. Still pretty scary. And there's going to be a lot of new changes for students. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So, throughout my speech, there's one thing I want everyone to be mindful of, and that is being open to new things. While it may be scary when you transition to high school, you are going to have so many new opportunities. There are going to be challenges, but they're going to help you so much, and you can learn so much from those challenges. So first, I'll just start with extracurriculars. At the high school, there are so many things you can do. There are sports, theater, FFA, and student government. That's fun. So that's a fun thing to do. There's so many opportunities for you to learn and grow and build a community within those extracurriculars. And just become involved early, just so you can start building that community and have those connections. Another thing I want to say about transitioning to high school is building connections with the teachers and counselors at the high school. Those people can become your advocates. Teachers not only help you academically, but they can help you socially. And then there's the counselors. They do, the standard stuff like schedules, classes, and they help with that for your future. But they can also just help you emotionally. They can help you be a better person, and they can just help you with really anything you need. They are your advocate, and they are there for you to help you. And then the last thing I want to touch on is character. Big thing, obviously. And character is usually defined as what makes a person them, what defines a person. However, I see character more as a person's behavior, how they act. And in high school, you will change. It may be a little, it may be a lot, but there are going to be some changes to yourself and what you do. And what you have to think about is, how will that affect the people around you? Are you being kind, or are you being unkind to someone around you? And the main thing is, you're not just affecting your future, but you could be affecting someone else's. And just being kind to others and making that a part of your character is not only important to your future, but to how you can keep growing. So overall, those are just my tricks for high school, and just how to be ready more socially, and just the challenges that will come your way will be big and they'll be scary, but you have a big support group that will be able to help you. Thank you.
At this time, we will start handing out certificates.
All right. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our 7th grade class, and these students are receiving the Learning Lancer. And for students to qualify for the Learning Lancer, they would have needed to earn a GPA of 3.5 or above for the first semester of this current school year. All right. Jackson Atkinson. Jorge Azuela. Eric Bachtel. Carly Badger. Preston Barrett. Faik Vakari. Josh Black. Sean Blake. Kale Blodig. Brianna Brown. Amelia Bunce. Kylie Christensen. Madison Christensen. Ben Clayton. Megan Kaufman. Charlie Connor. Emery Cronkleton. Okay. Maxwell Davis. Nora Davis. Riley DeBorsey. Keegan Dierks. Lendita Zaladini. Madeline Eller. Colin Engelbrecht. Colton Engler. Isaac Farley. Lillian Farrow. Olivia Fedderson. Trayton Feist. Drew Fisher. Griffin Frank.
Addison Frere. Mackenzie Gabrielson. Jason Garnica. Chloe Gall. Lorelei Gephardt. Olivia Graham. Miller Haight. Chloe Hamilton. Parker Hamley. Case Harmon. Marley Harrington. Ben Hill. Madeline Hillman. Kelsey Hilsenbeck. William Hyde. Isabella Ingwerson. Addison Yossi. Sydney Jensen. Madeline Jepson. Pacey Kane. Hayden Kepi. Madeline Kindig. Grady Kirst. Andrew Clint. Annika Krambeck. Madeline LaPlante. Brooklyn Latcher. Riley Lambiot. Mason Latner. Carter Laughlin. Lily Leninger. Colin Lewis. Elliot Lukritz. Madeline Lung. Ella Martin. Ryder Maher. Zach McCleary. Alex McKay. Keith McKinney. William Meeks. Catherine Moeller. Molly Mose. Wyatt Mussman. Aliana Nelson. Emerson Olson. Neil Patel. Caitlin Peck. Lydia Pettifish. Charlie Peterson. Ava Pins. Emerson Plett. Callie Poinsett. Delaney Pratt. Kinsey Pretch. Aaron Raleigh. Michaela Ramirez. Isabella Reeves. Emma Reef. Haley Rineker. Logan Ruth. Victoria Samara. Haley Shack. Jack Schermerhorn. Edward Schlichting. Keaton Schneckloff. Cooper Schoenthaler. Alyssa Schroeder. Nicholas Shriver. Hayden Shaw. Sorry. Keaton Smeltzer. Logan Stickmuller. Isabella Suarez. Zaylee Thompson. Lexi Tooley. Brody Twig. Gabe Uloa. Dylan Uloa. Owen Underwood. Akira Van Landschoot. Anthony Vattenstall. Sailor Venhorst. Gage Wagner. Parker Ward. Jalen Watts. Elizabeth Wiedemann. Isley Weinert. Luke Welsh. Carson Welbert. Tyler West. Emma Wint. And Kane Wolf. And that concludes our 7th grade Learning Lancers.
Woo, that was fast. So there was a while there where I was just passing them out. So any student who has the wrong certificate, come up afterwards and we'll exchange them. Woo!
All right. I'll slow down. He's getting pretty old. He's got to catch up. He didn't even hear it. It's fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our 8th grade Learning Lancers, starting off with Addison Allen. Nathan Anderson. Ava Adson. Charlotte Bauer. Tori Ben-Dixon. Nairi Benton. Sadisha Beadler. Amira Blackwell. Chase Blissett. Katie Brader. Cole Bruck. Nikolai Bubinyak. Anna Campbell. Marlena Cockshoot. Paige Kuhn. Taylor Crane. McKenna DeCap. Mallory Detmeyer. Chloe Dorr. Cole Engelbrecht. Rachel Erickson. Madison Fitzgerald. Brooklyn Flanker. Colton Gooding. Cole Green. Lauren Griffin. Johnny Grimm. Andrew Gustus. Ainsley Hates. Bennett Hammerlink. Addison Harms. Parker Harrington. Kagan Hilsenbeck. Davis Hoper. Lucas Hoffman. Joey Honeywell. Bella Holscher. Riley Inch. Riley Johnson. Jordan Jones. Haley Kaiser. Memphis Kearney. Maya Kelsey. Evan Kepi. Owen Klinkenberg. Caitlin Nepper. Hayden Coburg. Addison Cohen. Brant Crayshon. Macy Kozer. Cohen Crambeck. Nate Kramer. Aaron Kuhn. Ben Lytle. Emiliana Lira. Madeline Logsden. Charlotte Madden. Skylar Maxwell. Jackson McCarthy. Vivian McGee. Zach McMahon. Kale Mess. Lucas Miller. Isabella Moore. Peyton Murphy. Luke Newberry. Jane Nichols. Hunter Nissen. Kayliana Nowak. Natalie Nowachok. Jack O'Neill. Alana Owen. Elizabeth Parrott. Lucas Pearson.
Our 8th graders do not know how to stay in alphabetical order, so we're going to take a quick break.
We tried to make them ready for high school, you guys. We tried. Baby steps. Alana Owen. Oh, Lucas Person, sorry. Ella Peters. Ryan Peterson. Riley Plymale. Cody Powell. Landon Pratt. Dylan Quinn. Baron Raddick. Emily Reyes. Nolan Reese. Henry Reich. Marin Robertson. Shelby Ross. Brett Rouse. Quentin Saunders. Claire Schnorenberg. Zoe Schwein. Braden Serrano. Gabe Skiles. Ryan Squires. Russell Squires. Jolie Steinecke. Bryn Stevens. Caden Timmerman. Aubrey Tui. Carter Unwin. Cora Van Orsdell. Yep. Emily Studding. Maya Vogt. Spencer Voss. Gavin Welch. Robert Wheeler. Lauren White. Natalie Willis. Evan Wilson. Ava Wyatt. Audrey Yonke. Kayla Youngquist. And Emma Zaroslik. And that concludes our 8th grade class for the Learning Lancer Award.
Yep, I'll be right back. Where's that? Oh, I put it over there. Okay, next up, our next certificates and our next recognition is for the Presidential Award. In order to receive the Presidential Award, a student must have a 3.5 or above ending their 7th grade year and a 3.5 or above their 8th grade year in their first semester. And they have to have at least an 80% on their fall map in both categories of reading and math. And each time that we have the Learning Lancer and we have the Presidential Award, the President of the United States shares a letter with us that I read to our students and their parents. Congratulations on receiving the 2022 President's Education Award. Young leaders like you are why the First Lady and I are more optimistic about the future than ever before. This award is a testament to your hard work, tenacity, and perseverance. Especially during these difficult times. You have shown your family, friends, school, and community what you can accomplish, and you should be very proud. You are part of the most gifted and talented generation in our history, and the world is going to need you. Keep studying hard, and remember to always lead by example. I have every confidence that you will translate your talents into greater opportunity, happiness, and prosperity for yourself, our nation, and the world. Your future is bright. Keep the faith. Joe Biden. Yep.
All right, Nathan Anderson. Ava Adson. Seti Beidler. Chase Blissett. Cole Bruck. Marlena Cockshoot. Mallory Detmeyer. Rachel Erickson. Lauren Griffin. Johnny Grimm. Addison Harms. Who? Okay, I don't have her on here, but that's okay. Who? Charlotte Bauer. Sorry, my fault. I did skip that. Parker Harrington. Kagan Hilsenbeck. Riley Inch. Riley Johnson. Evan Kepi. Caitlin Nepper. Nate Kramer. Ben Lytle. Jackson McCarthy. Vivian McGee. Kale Mess. Isabella Moore. Luke Newberry. Jane Nichols. Lucas Pearson. Ella Peters. Cody Powell. Baron Raddick. Marin Robertson. Gabe Skiles. Ryan Squires. Russell Squires. Caden Timmerman. Ava Viss. Spencer Voss. Evan Wilson. Eva Wyatt. And Audrey Yankee. Congratulations to our Presidential Award winners. We're very proud of all of them.
That concludes the evening. How about a big thank you for Matea for taking time out to speak to our kids. Another big thank you to our wonderful readers, Stephanie Fahrenkrug. Another huge thank you to Chantel Woods. And in order to have this here at the high school, we are very thankful for the high school allowing us to be here. But let's give a round of applause to the tech department for taking care of us tonight. And to all you students, we salute you one last time. Congratulations and continued good luck. Drive safely home. Have a great night. Thanks, everybody.